Valenti VOD, we have a lot to talk about. Benjamin Netanyahu came out and just said that all of the conspiracy theorists are right, and he does believe in the Greater Israel Project. Now, he said that he has a historic and spiritual mission and a connection to the vision of Greater Israel. Now, if you don't know what Greater Israel is, I've talked about it a lot. There's plenty of other content creators on the left who have talked about it a lot. But it was, until today, or yesterday, I guess, it was a conspiracy theory that Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu, they don't want to end the war in Gaza. They want to expand their territory into parts of Syria and Iraq and Jordan and create this Greater Israel Project where they ethnically cleanse everybody surrounding them. Now, that was a conspiracy theory until yesterday. But now, Benjamin Netanyahu himself has confirmed that the conspiracy theorists are right. So that's going to be the main story. And then what else do we have? We also have Trump says he is going to extend the 30 days of martial law in D.C. If you don't know this, Donald Trump, he sent in the National Guard. He took over the D.C. police. He sent in hundreds of FBI agents. There's a curfew in D.C. They're patrolling the streets 24/7. But he can only do that for 30 days with the powers of the presidency before Congress has to vote on letting him continue doing it. He already says, we're going to cover this in Axios article, he says he doesn't give a fuck. He's not asking congressional approval. He's going to keep on going. So this is, again, as we've talked about, the beginning of the takeover of the United States of America. What else do we have? We also have Donald Trump wants to vet the Smithsonian museums across the nation to make sure that they are only telling his version of history. And as we know, in the beginning, when he was signing executive orders, he was like trying to he got rid of the Enola Gay on the Library of History's website, or Library of Congress's website. He gets rid of anything that has to do with black people, like the Tuskegee Airmen or the Tuskegee experiments. He wants to scrub any history that makes America look bad, which is unfortunately, you know, most of American history. What else? We got Trump threatening Putin if he doesn't have a peace with Ukraine. Now, Trump doesn't actually have balls. Trump's threat is a threat of fucking tariffs, or not tariffs, sanctions, which don't affect Russia because they're in the BRICS nations and they trade with 48% of the fucking world population. Moving on, Trump is having that meeting in Alaska, and Alaska is in a flood watch right now because of climate change. Pete Hegseth, the head of the Department of Defense, he decided to retweet and support this. He's a parishioner at this church, and he retweeted a video of it where they said that they want to repeal the 19th Amendment, take women's right to vote away, turn the entire planet into a Christian planet, and dominate all other religions. This is real. We're going to watch that. The Supreme Court has been officially asked to overturn Obergefell v. Hodges, which gives gays the right to marry in the United States, same-sex marriage. So, and if you don't think they're going to do it, well, they did it to Roe v. Wade. And then last but not least, Trump was at the Kennedy Center. He has been so ostracized by Hollywood that he decided to create his own Hollywood, right? And he's giving himself awards. And you don't need to take my word for it. Trump says it himself, that he did this to give himself awards because nobody would ever give him one. Whew, lot to cover. Let's dive into it. But before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing and it helps me immensely. If you do want to support the channel financially, because this is real independent media, it is entirely grassroots funded by you guys, the watchers. If you want to help me out, you can go to my Patreon and you can become a patron for $1, $2, $5 a month. A huge shout out to the patrons. You can become a member here on YouTube for $5. Thank you very much if you do that. You can buy merch down below. You can hit that 40% off discount code in the description for Ground News. And other than that, you can hit the thanks button and just donate money straight to the chat. Without further ado, I think we just dive right the fuck in. Let me refresh my chat here. If you see, we make these videos live. So get that notification bell so that you could be here next time. Anyway, let's dive in. Netanyahu says he's on a historic and spiritual mission. Also feels a connection to the vision of Greater Israel. Now, before we keep on reading this, what I do want to show you is what Greater Israel is, okay? This is the idea of Greater Israel, okay? Taking over the entirety of Jordan, almost all of Syria, almost all of Iraq, parts of Egypt. It is just a imperialist wet dream. It is the full, complete, total conquering of the Arab nations that surround Israel, and at the end of the day, it requires ethnic cleansing. We have already seen what they did to the Palestinians, and what they did to the Palestinians, that amount of land is absolutely fuck all, bro. There's Gaza. That amount of land is fuck all compared to all of this. So if in Palestine they were willing to exterminate hundreds of thousands of people, the only possible way to create this greater Israel that Netanyahu is talking about is to exterminate millions of people, potentially tens of millions. So let's read. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tells I-24 he feels he is on a, quote, historic and spiritual mission, and that he is very attached to the vision of a greater Israel. The interviewer, Sharon Gal, who was briefly a right-wing member of the Knesset, gifts to Netanyahu what he says is an amulet of a map of the Promised Land. He jokes that he does not want to further, quote, entangle Netanyahu in the case against the premier for allegedly receiving jewelry and other luxury goods from several businessmen for him and his wife Sarah. Asked if he feels a connection to this vision of a greater Israel, Netanyahu says, very much. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. The amulet does not appear on the screen. The term Greater Israel was used after the Six-Day War of June 1967 to refer to Israel and the areas it had just conquered: East Jerusalem, the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, the Sinai Peninsula, and the Golan Heights. The phrase was also used by some early Zionists, including Ze'ev Jabotinsky, forerunner of Netanyahu's Likud party, to refer to present-day Israel, Gaza, and the West Bank, and present-day Jordan. So, again, another look at this map. I need you to understand. This is a Jewish crusade, right? The way that the Christian crusaders came all the way over to the Holy Land to conquer it and to take goods and bring it back. This is the Jewish crusade, but it's an external. It's like an explosion, right? Where they're trying to take as much land as they possibly can so that they can no longer even be challenged by the Arab world. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So when it comes to the conspiracy theorists, and including myself, I guess, who were like, yeah, no, Netanyahu does not want peace, because if there's peace, then he can get removed from his position of power. He wants to expand the war, keep the war going. That's why he bombed Iran. That's why they're bombing Yemen. That's why they're bombing parts of Syria. That's why they're bombing Palestine. That's the plan, is keep the war going, keep on expanding territories until he can essentially just claim the kingdom of Greater Israel, claim the throne. So let's move on. Here in the United States, we have Donald Trump, according to Axios here, floats taking over the D.C. police for more than a month. President Trump said on Wednesday that he plans to extend the federalization of police in D.C. beyond the initially set 30 days. Why it matters. Trump is looking for congressional permission to continue cementing control over law enforcement in the district, which he has cast as, quote, crime-ridden, despite a drop in violent crime over the recent years. So if you don't know this, D.C. has like a 30% crime rate plummet. Like the crime rate has plummeted 30% since I think 2023. Right? It's actually getting better. In every aspect, DC is getting better. So this is bullshit. His whole plan here, I think it's because he's afraid and he doesn't know what to do anymore other than lock himself in the fucking Oval Office with a whole bunch of tanks outside. So, Trump's federalization of police has a 30-day limit unless Congress acts to extend it. But Trump said during a press conference that his regime is going to push for, quote, a long-term extension of the federalization of the Metropolitan Police Department in a crime bill that will initially pertain to D.C., but will serve as a roadmap for other cities. So this crime bill, they dropped the list of cities that they want to invade and assault. And you should look it up. It's a long fucking list, but it's like New York City, San Francisco, Newark, New Jersey. I mean, it's practically all of New Jersey. Chicago, Detroit, fucking Tucson. It's a giant list where they're preparing for the military to invade and set curfews and take away your freedom. So get ready for the imminent backlash. Anyway. If it's a national emergency, we can do it without Congress. But we expect to be before Congress very quickly. So this is Trump saying he doesn't give a fuck what Congress says. If Congress tells him no, he's going to claim that it's a national emergency, and then he's just going to militarize the entire nation. Under the district's Home Rule Act, the president can't federalize the city police for more than 30 days without a joint resolution from Congress. So this is also important because what Trump is doing in D.C. is a test run because he's legally allowed to do it in D.C. He can't just do that in somewhere like New York City. He can't just federalize our National Guard units. And if he fucking did, he's going to face genuine, God, what's the word? retaliation from the Empire City Police. I know my boys in the Empire City Police, and ain't none of them gonna bend the knee to some fucking orange child rapist fascist in the fucking Oval Office. Suck my dick, bitch boy. Not gonna fucking happen. So, in other news, with more shit that Trump is doing, the White House is set to vet Smithsonian museums to fit Trump's historical vision. This all comes around the American 250th anniversary. And by the way, it's not a coincidence that FIFA, America 250, and the Olympics are all happening at the exact same time. This is Donald Trump trying to paint a picture and sell it to the world of American supremacy. Meanwhile, we're losing the relationships with all of our allies. Our economy is fucking shrinking. The tariffs are increasing the goods of everything. Nobody can afford to live. Nobody can afford health care. There is no fucking universal health care. We got people running around fucking popping CEOs because we have no direction. There's no unity, so people are just going, well, I'm just gonna fucking kill the rich people. Kind of like it. But the point that I'm trying to say is we're fucked right now, and his whole plan is to paint a picture of gilded. He's gilding us. It's the next Gilded Age. He's painting us in gold, despite the fact that we're rotten on the inside. And he's going to hold it up to go, please tread with America. Look, we're golden. But if you took a bite, it'll bend. That's what's going on here. That's what's going on here. Anyway. The White House plans to conduct a far-reaching review of Smithsonian Museum exhibitions, materials, and operations ahead of America's 250th anniversary to ensure the museums align with President Trump's interpretation of American history. I majored in history. You don't get to have an interpretation of history, you fat fuck. It's just history. Under your interpretation, I'm sure Thomas Jefferson never raped his slaves, but guess what? He fucking did. Under your interpretation of history, we never practiced segregation, but guess what? We fucking did. So don't be going around trying to fucking paint a picture like we were the best, we're the most perfect nation on earth. No wonder we're friends with Israel. No fucking wonder we're friends with Israel. Yeah, gold bends anyway. Ban him. I'm kidding. Don't ban him. In a letter sent to Lonnie Bunch, the secretary of the Smithsonian Institute, 3 top White House officials said they want to ensure the museum present the, quote, unity, progress, and enduring values that define the American story, and reflect on the president's executive order calling for restoring truth and sanity to American history. Thank you for the $5. We covered this, bro, right when he wrote that fucking bill. We covered this shit. God damn, this is so fucked. All right, moving on with more Trump news. Trump threatens, quote, severe consequences if Putin blocks Ukraine peace. Now, here's the thing about this. Why the fuck would Vladimir Putin give a shit about anything that Dolan has to say? He's got no cards. He has no fucking cards in the game. We're not giving Ukraine any weapons or intel anymore. Russia's got all the fucking time of the world. They, if they're in a bleed-out competition, Russia can bleed out a lot longer than Ukraine can. They're already encroaching on the eastern Ukraine territories. This is so fucking stupid. U.S. President King Dolan threatened severe consequences if Vladimir Putin blocked peace in Ukraine, but also said on Wednesday that a meeting between the pair could swiftly be followed by a second that included the leader of Ukraine. Trump did not specify what the consequences could be, but he has warned of economic sanctions. Here's the thing, guys. You put sanctions on Russia, it doesn't fucking matter. Russia is in the BRICS nations. 48% of the world population is in the BRICS nations. They don't need the 365 million fucking Americans that to trade with. And shut the fuck up. They can just make their money elsewhere, dog. Anyway. While Trump is going to meet Putin in Alaska, Alaska is fucking flooding. Alaska's capital orders evacuations as record glacier flood looms. And this was like a, look at this. Look at this. Look at the flood water rising. Climate change ain't real, right? No, climate change ain't real. Yeah, no, my bad. No, climate change ain't real. The annual Mendenhall Glacial Lake outburst flood is judged to be intensifying as a result of climate change. Now that's a whole bunch of bullshit. That's just weather. Alaska's glaciers are among the fastest melting glaciers on Earth and have been in a steep decline since the late 1980s. Dude, Trump is gonna fucking sell Alaska to Russia for like $40 at a blowjob. Speaking of $40 and a blowjob, Christian nationalists, they're out to fight. And Pete Hegseth is a parishioner at a church here, and he retweeted this video. We're going to watch it. It's about 7 minutes long. And in this video, they say they want to repeal the 19th Amendment, take women's right to voting away, dominate the entire planet and make it a Christian, not only a Christian state, where a state is, but also a Christian nation and then a Christian world. Yeah, you're up against Nazis. I'm going to call it as I see it here, which is Nazis. And don't expect anybody else to be calling it the way that they see it. Let's watch it. Now, this is really important because Pete Hegseth reposted this, dude. And also, fuck CNN for even doing this interview and platforming these fucking pieces of shit. Let's watch. This is going to be hard to watch, just so you know, but it's important for you to see what you're actually up against.
Christchurch senior pastor Doug Wilson makes no apologies for his beliefs on God and country.
I'd like to see the town be a Christian town. I'd like to see the state be a Christian state. I'd like to see the nation be a Christian nation. And I'd like to see the world be a Christian world.
And now Wilson's controversial views as a Christian nationalist are...
Just so you know, saying you would like to see this world as a Christian world is a threat of violence to you and everybody you know. That is not... Even to Christians, bro. There's plenty of Christians... Like, I was raised Christian. I know plenty of Christians who would be like, this guy's fucking nuts, bro. And I'm sure there's Christians in the chat who are like, this guy's fucking nuts. That is a threat of violence to everyone on planet Earth. That's what that is.
Gaining sway in the nation's center of power with the recent opening of his new church and high-profile parishioners like Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Pete Hegseth takes his family to this church. Remember when we were covering that Pete Hegseth had a white supremacist tattoo on his chest and everyone was like, it's just a cross. That's not just a cross, you sons of bitches. It was even fucking labeled by the ADL, which is a whole bunch of bullshit, but still. Oh my God, we're up against Nazis. We're up against literal fucking Nazis.
Is planting a church in D.C. part of your mission to try to turn this into a Christian nation?
Yes.
I don't think I can ever debate Republicans again. They are actually my enemy. They are the enemies of freedom.
So every society is theocratic. The only question is who's Theo in a
You're so fucking stupid.
secular democracy. It would be demos, the people. In a Christian republic, it'd be Christ.
Well, what would you say to someone watching this to say, look, I'm a Muslim. Who are you to say your worldview is better than mine, that your God is better than mine?
Well, if I went to Saudi Arabia, I would fully expect to live under their God's rules.
But
you just said you wanted to take over the entire globe.
said earlier that you want this to be a Christian world.
Yes.
Yep.
So you want to supplant their religion with your Christian.
Yes, by peaceful means.
Bullshit. By peaceful means, bullshit.
By sharing the gospel. There's a lot of work yet to do. I believe that we are working our little corner.
Who is this dude? Oh, he's the head of Christ Church, which is what Pete Hegseth goes to in Washington, D.C. And Pete Hegseth has been retweeting his videos out there. That's the head of the Department of Defense. That's the leader of the entire United States military, second only to President Donald Trump.
The vineyard.
Wilson's Little Corner, a picturesque campus nestled on the outskirts of downtown Moscow, Idaho, is growing by the day with thousands of like-minded Christians. Parishioners of his church, known as Kirkers, own and operate several businesses.
Destiny or Hassan, the fact that you even consider Destiny being a watchable streamer is disgusting. That's disgusting.
Downtown, next to liberal college town stores.
If it's true.
Why did he yell boo? Because it's
Because of me.
because of you.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's a regular day for you.
That's not unusual.
A big focus of his Christian movement is on a patriarchal society where men are dominant and women are expected to submit to their...
It's good to be a man. Oh my God, these fucking people are disgusting. Enjoy your coffee, Cascadian.
husbands.
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
So you just think they're meant to have babies.
Oh, yeah, no, Kaskanian also makes a good point here. We're going to go back and rewatch that clip. No mainstream media is covering the protests going on across the entire fucking nation. There's going to be massive protests, specifically in September 1st, across the entire goddamn nation, and nobody's covering it. Anyway, let's go back to this. This is crazy shit.
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
So you just think they're meant to have babies. That's
Well,
it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically.
Probably the most painful and hard, difficult thing that any human being could ever endure is pushing a child out of their pussy. Are you out of your fucking mind? I guarantee you this fucking morbidly obese, decrepit, senior citizen ass bitch still relies on his mommy. I bet you his mommy is still alive and he still relies on her to help him fucking file his taxes.
The wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here as a working journalist, and I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue
No.
for you?
No, it's not automatically an issue.
Automatically. Yeah, this is what they do, by the way, the Christian nationalists, the Nazis. This is what they do. They hide what they want for the future with what is acceptable to say. So he's saying, no, it's not a problem automatically. And then earlier when he was talking about taking over the world and making it Christian, he goes, through peaceful means. That's not the truth. It is a problem to him. And he does not want to take over the world through peaceful means. But maybe in about a year or so, then the country will have changed enough for him to say to that woman, to go, no, actually, I think it is a problem. You shouldn't have a job. And then in 3 years, he'll say, yeah, no, we should be killing Muslims. They wait until it is socially acceptable. That's why you didn't see the Nazis running around 10 years ago. They existed, but they didn't feel comfortable. Now, under Trump's regime, they feel comfortable.
Amy Prince, along with her 4 kids, moved here from Washington State.
Do you see Amy as your equal?
Yes and no. In the sense that we're both saved by grace, we're absolutely on equal footing. But we have very different purposes, God-given.
But
under his eye.
do you see yourself as the head of the household, as the man?
He is the head of our household.
Yes.
Yes, and I do submit to him.
So like,
Ew. Here's my thing. If you want to be submissive to your husband, be submissive to your husband. I think it's crazy, but you can do whatever you want in your own relationship. Why the fuck do you need everyone else to do it too? Why do you need to force everyone else to do the weird shit you do? You don't see me running around fucking begging, saying, anytime you're fucking your wife, she has to choke you, all right? I don't go around making my fucking kinks necessary.
moving here
I was just
was
gonna say that.
ultimately your decision.
Yes.
That's a great
example.
Wilson says in his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals should...
Wait, what the fuck did she... Wait.
Yes, and I do submit to him.
So like moving here
I was just
was
gonna say that.
ultimately your decision.
Yes.
That's a great
example.
Bullshit.
Wilson says in his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals shouldn't be able to vote. His fellow pastors, Jared Longshore
And Pete Hegseth retweeted this video and then ended up saying, Christ above all. The head of the United States military.
Toby Sumter agree.
In my ideal society, we would vote as households. And
isn't that literally in The Handmaid's Tale? Isn't that actually in The Handmaid's Tale?
I would ordinarily be the one that would cast the vote, but I would cast the vote having discussed it with my household.
But what if there's your wife doesn't want to vote for the same
Right.
person
I'll kill her.
as you?
Right. Well, then that's a great opportunity for a good discussion.
Listen up, you bald fucking Nazi. I don't give a shit that you deported your hair down across the southern border of your giant fucking nose and onto your shitty, jawless fucking face. But if you think in any world you're gonna take my mother's right to vote away, oh, the things I want to say and I legally can't. Oh, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. hold it in, get it out later. This is why I play fucking laser tag. This is why I play fucking laser tag.
There are some who have gone so far as to say that they want the 19th Amendment repealed.
I would support that.
What? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
And I'd support it on the basis that the atomization that comes with our current system is not good for humans.
And Wilson, a veteran himself, is unapologetic.
What is atomization? What, does he mean like Adam and Eve? What does that even fucking mean?
About his view that women shouldn't be in certain leadership or combat roles.
Looking at the leadership page for Christ Church,
Right.
it's all
Rapists
men.
and pedophiles.
Do you accept women in leadership roles in the
It's
church?
all
and
white
government? Men.
Or combat roles.
Looking at the leadership page for Christ Church,
Right.
it's all
Rapists and pedophiles.
Do you accept women in leadership roles in the church and government?
In the church, no.
Why?
Because the Bible says not to.
Well, that's
How do you know your God's real? Well, the Bible says so. Well, how do you know the Bible's real? God says so. How convenient.
not what happens in the Bible. Women do lead all the time.
Progressive faith leader Reverend Jennifer Butler is concerned about Wilson's growing influence.
He is rapidly gaining in power. He has hundreds of churches established around the country.
Holy
they
shit.
actually literally want to take over towns and cities. And they have access to this administration.
Wilson
Bro, I guarantee you this church has a militant branch. I guarantee you this fat motherfucker has... Why are they all obese, by the way? Why are they all obese? Anyway, I guarantee you this obese Nazi has connections to the Proud Boys or to Patriot Front. I guarantee it.
is part of a broader Christian nationalist movement making inroads with the Trump administration, with a newly created faith office led by evangelical pastor Paula White Cain.
Oh my God, Paula White. I have to whip out Paula White. If you don't know who Paula White is, oh, we got to get a little bit of Paula White up in this bitch. The angels are coming from Africa right now. From Africa right now. Tongues. Oh, here it is. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
And strike, and angels have even been dispatched from Africa right now. Africa right now. Africa right now. From Africa right now. They're coming here. They're coming here. In the name of Jesus, from South America. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here.
Not a
from
cult.
Africa, from South America.
Not mentally ill.
Angelic forces, angelic reinforcement.
Just feeling the power of the Lord.
Reinforcement, angelic reinforcement. Fika hata anda ata ora bata rata ande eke manda rasata. For I hear the sound of victory. 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 I hear the sound of victory.
Made the altar a place for sinners and
Yeah. So that's who the head of the Department of Faith is. Give me back my frames. So that's who Trump... Yeah, fuck the Department of Education. Let's bring in the Department of Faith, led by some crazy cobwebbed cunt who speaks in tongues. Fucking... By the way, and I mean this wholeheartedly, if any of you think speaking in tongues is real, any of you, you're mentally ill. You need professional help. Speaking in tongues is not a message from the fucking Lord. You're just going, like, dude, get the fuck out of my face. Wobbly, wiggly, wobbly, wiggly, wobbly, wiggly, wobbly, wiggly, yeah. Like, shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth.
And people seen right outside the White House entrance praying and speaking in tongues.
we are standing on the soil of the White House and we are declaring your word.
How precious.
And now there's a monthly prayer service at the Pentagon, initiated by Hegseth, Wilson's highest level connection to the administration.
It's not organizationally tied to us, but it's the kind of thing we love to see.
Oh! Oh! You're not tied to the Proud Boys and the white supremacists. My apologies. You're tied to the entire might of the United States military. And then there's fucking libs out there making TikToks going, Chris Valenti is doom-pilled. He tells everybody that we're fucked. Sweetheart, you're not gonna be allowed to vote next year.
For his part, Hegseth has publicly praised Wilson.
Now we're standing on the shoulders of a generation later, the Doug Wilsons and the others.
Wilson's influence spans the globe with more than 150 churches. Lennox Califangua moved to Moscow from Africa.
It's really because I wanted to be a part of a community that was doing something, and especially in building.
Brother, they're gonna put you on a crucifix. Are you fucking stupid?
Christian institutions.
Are there other black families in this community?
Oh, absolutely. There's a few black families.
Bullshit.
Wilson maintains all are welcome to his church, but he's also not shying away from his past controversial statements on race.
Do you still believe what you said back in the 90s, that there's a mutual affection between master and slave?
Yes, it depends on which master and which slave you're talking about. Slavery was overseen and conducted by fallen human beings, and there were horrendous abuses, and there were also people who owned slaves who were decent human beings and didn't mistreat them. I think that system of chattel slavery was an unbiblical system, and I'm grateful it's gone.
What he also...
I don't believe him. I don't believe you. You don't say that with your whole chest, the way that we're like, yeah, repeal the 19th. I should vote for my house. And now you're going, yeah, I don't know. Chattel slavery is pretty bad. I don't believe you.
Once gone, same-sex marriage, because he thinks homosexuality is a crime.
In the late 70s and early 80s, sodomy was a felony in all 50 states. That America of that day was not a totalitarian hellhole.
So you would like America to go back to that?
Yep.
Wilson maintained.
That's going to tie into our next subject, which is Obergefell v. Hodges being potentially overturned. The right to gay marriage is being attacked. You need to stop pretending like you don't live in a fascist dictatorship. You live in a Christian, theocratic, fascist dictatorship. You need to understand you're not fucking safe.
His ultimate goal is to bring about the second coming of Christ through his work, and rejects critics' claims he's trying to make the dystopian world of The Handmaid's Tale a reality.
I'm not a white nationalist. I'm not a fascist. I'm not a racist. I'm not a misogynist.
You are all of those things. You are literal, and also, oftentimes, like, here's what's crazy. I've never had to say that. I've never had to go, listen, I'm not a fucking white nationalist. I'm not a fucking fascist. I'm not a fucking... Brother, why are you playing such defense if you're not those things?
How far off do you see a Christian nation, like a full-on Christian theocracy?
Oh, 250 years.
250 years.
Yeah, honestly, that's yes.
What you see. But you do think it will happen?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, that means we've got a 250-year-long fight ahead of us, folks. Good thing I'm 14,000 years old. This is my 14th body. I'm a reptilian shapeshifter. I'll still be here. I don't know about you fuckers. There's got to be one or two of us out there.
We're not going to usher in anything ourselves. We're really genuinely pioneers.
Pioneers. Pioneers, he calls himself. That brings us to our next point here. We're coming up towards the end. Will the Supreme Court overturn same-sex marriage? Maybe, but it hasn't done anything yet. Now, to all of you who are naive and going, oh, come on, they're not going to overturn same-sex marriage. I bet you said the same thing about Roe v. Wade, didn't you? You probably did. Hey, remember when the Supreme Court had a 9-0 unanimous decision and ordered Trump to bring back Kilmar Abrego Garcia? A 9-0 unanimous decision, and he said, fuck you, and didn't do it. Also, you should consider the fact that Trump has the Supreme Court packed 6-3, hand-picked. Supreme Court could consider whether to overturn its landmark ruling legalizing same-sex marriage this term after the court was asked to hear a case on the issue. But the court hasn't yet taken any action on the case, and it remains to be seen whether they'll take it up, which they're not required to do. expressly asks the court to overturn its precedent in Obergefell v. Hodges 2015 ruling that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. Also, can we point out the fact that we are such a pathetic goddamn society that it only took 10 years before we tried to get rid of it? 10 years of allowing people to love who they love before these fucking crunchy, pathetic, cracker-ass fucking white nationalists, Christian theocratic fascists went, nah, I'm closeted homosexual, so you have to be too. It's so fucking pathetic. It's so fucking pathetic. All right, let's end on a funny note here. So Fox News' phrasing is so funny. President Trump shakes up Hollywood with revamped Kennedy Center Awards list. So, as you guys might know, Donald Trump is like a theater kid. Like, he was always ostracized by, like, the Hollywood elite. Like, they always thought he was a fucking douchebag, loser-ass, fat fucking bitch, fail son. His dead older brother was cooler than him, which is all true. And because of that, he's never able to get any awards. He was never able to get anything from Hollywood. So he decided to just fucking make his own and give himself awards. And you don't need to take my word for it. You can take King Dolan's. We're not watching this entire thing, but the beginning of it is funny. Oh.
1978, the Kennedy Center honors have been among the most prestigious awards in the performing arts. I wanted one. I was never able to get one. This year, it's true, actually. I would have taken it if they would have called me. I waited and waited and waited, and I said, the hell with it. I'll become chairman. And I'll give myself an honor. Maybe I'm going to honor, next year we'll honor Trump, okay? This year, the board has selected a truly exceptional class of honorees. I mean,
he literally is saying it himself, that because he could never get a fucking award naturally, he just wants to make his own. And he did. And I'm pretty sure towards the end he says some weird fucking shit. Now, just so you know, Kiss got, Kiss is a group of fucking femboy Jews. And what, they're supposed to be part of MAGA? Of course he gives Sylvester Stallone one because he's fucking obsessed with Rocky and Rambo.
It's an honor to present Kiss.
Chris?
Thank you very
Me?
much. Got it?
Me? Me?
Yeah, thank you. And they're going to do something very special. Kiss is going to be here on a little bit before the show. I think they're going to do something very
Honestly,
special.
I think I might love Donald Trump now. He just gave me a Kennedy Center award. I might be full fucking
So we're going to have a good time. The 48th Kennedy Center honorees are outstanding people, outstanding group, incredible. We can't...
Shut the fuck up. There's a big part of this, too, where, like, he starts talking about Broadway. Hold on.
Talents, I think he's one of the greatest talents I've ever actually seen. I've always said, and just so we don't get in trouble, I'll say among the greatest artists in the world are the Broadway London actors back and forth. That's all they want to do is they want to do Broadway and they want to do London. They want to do 8 shows a week, including matinee on Wednesday. And if you said make a movie, they can't even think about it. If you say go on television, they don't want to. All they want to do is be on the stage, the live stage, and it's amazing. But I've always said they're the most talented people.
I want to point something out. Like, Trump's base thinks like Broadway is gay. I'm from New York. I love Broadway. Trump also loves Broadway. He's, you know, a fucking theater kid. He's a flautist. He used to fucking play the flute. I don't know if you know that, but yeah, he used to be a flautist before his dad said, "That's gay," and slapped it out of his hand. But Trump is like a theater kid who loves Broadway, and his base is like, you know, grabbing an ATV and going mudding and fucking hunting pheasant. That's not his base. I don't understand why he thinks that this is going to make him look good among them.
And this man may be the most of all. Michael Crawford is being honored.
Phantom of the Opera. The original
Michael
Phantom.
was born in England in 1942. He made his Broadway debut in 1967. I was there. I shouldn't say that, but I was there.
I was there. I was there for his Broadway debut. I thought you're supposed to be like King Alpha. I thought that was like the whole fucking thing. Oh my God, dude, this is so fucking stupid. I don't even know why the fuck I'm watching this, to be honest. This is so fucking stupid. Fuck
Seems
this
like
shit.
a long time ago.
All right.
And he became an
That's all I got for you today. That's the final tab. What do you want me to tell you, man? I tell you every day. Donald Trump's a fucking fascist, but now the U.S. is just in total chaos, bro. I mean, this shit is. We got Netanyahu going, yeah, no, we're doing greater Israel. We're just going to conquer our neighbors. You got Pete Hegseth saying, yeah, we're going to repeal the 19th Amendment. Women shouldn't be allowed to vote. You got Donald Trump going, yeah, we're going to fucking put more and more sanctions on Russia if they don't do peace with Ukraine. That doesn't do anything. Trump goes, yeah, we're going to extend the military invasion of Washington, D.C., and we're going to assault the rest of the blue cities. What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you? This is a long video, so if you're still here, congratulations, you made it to the end. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. And do me one last favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger. And I know bangers.